Hey, how's it going, friends? Hey, you and I have got a lot in common. We all want to be the best parents we can be. We want to break cycles. We want to break bad traditions. We want to build good traditions. We want to be amazing, impactful parents. And we care so much about it. We listen to podcasts, we read books, we watch on social media. And something I've learned about like how people grow. You grow by watching somebody who's successful at that craft. You concentrate on that. Like you want to be a good swimmer, you study good swimmers, not the worst swimmers. You want to do something well, you surround yourself by people who are more successful than you. So today, Jordan and I have a really fun, creative little like show that we put together. Jordan, we're going to talk about some of the qualities, some of the characteristics, some of the cool things that we've noticed in like the best of the best parents. And we're going to create like a top 5 list for y'all.
Yeah, because we're constantly, it's like our kids, like they're constantly watching us and like taking us in. And that's why it's like every kid's mind's like a sponge. You got to be careful what you do around them. But like, let's be honest, we all do that even as adults. We're looking over our shoulder. We're looking at our boss, the CEOs, like what are they doing in their life to make them better? How can I do what they're doing? And so with parenting, it's the same thing. We're trying to like adopt good parenting, whether you think some parents on a TV show have done a good job, or some parents in real life, you notice something at the grocery store, you're like, wow, I'm gonna try that at home. Or you listen to us and you're like, that's a good idea. I'm gonna try that when I go home. So we're doing it too, and this is gonna be fun.
So what we did here together today is that I came up with a list and Jordan came up with his own list, and we have not seen each other's lists. And so we're going to share, in no particular order, 5 things that we both feel, in our opinions, like these are some of the things that some of the best parents do, like that we've observed from, our own lives, from TV, from watching our friends. And then we're going to give a little color commentary on how we feel about each other's lists. And so as you listen to us, think for yourself, like, okay, if I were to make a list, what would be on my list? And then hopefully we're all going to just appreciate this list, and it kind of gives us a vision. Okay, this is good. This is good. Like, if you don't do these things, it doesn't mean you're not a bad parent. Let's do a little asterisk here. If you don't do these things, it doesn't mean you're a bad parent. These are just our opinions of things that I think we should all kind of aspire to. All right, so you want to get us started?
Adopt whatever you want. Sure, I'll get us started. This one's an easy one. I'll get to more in-depth ones later. But one of my, I guess, I don't know if pet peeve is the right word, but when I see parents treat their kids like a BFF or a friend, I'm like, I don't know if I like that, because you're their parent, but you're trying to be their friend. And so my first point was like when parents talk like adults to their children.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're not talking like your kid.
Yeah.
You're not talking like you're their best friend.
Right.
You're talking like you have wisdom. You're talking like you have guidance for them.
Yeah.
Right?
Good.
And you're not just someone for them to come and unleash all of their burdens on you and not give them any advice. Right? Some parents, like, maybe the kids come home like, oh, Becky was just so annoying. You're like, I know, that girl and her mom, she's just terrible. And you're like, oh, I'm connecting with my kid because we're both roasting Becky.
Right.
But no, I don't think kids need that. I mean, they might want to bounce ideas off you or frustrations off you, but it's your job to listen and talk back with wisdom as like an adult. So that's my first point.
I think that's interesting. Of all the things that you could have thought of all the things you could have started the show with, I think that was really an important one, because that's kind of what is happening in some of these people's homes. They're not, they have children, but they're not acting like parents. They're acting like, they don't know what their role is. They're confused. They're trying to be friends or just like make their kids happy, right?
Right. Or think of like a sporting event on the weekends when like parents fight with the referees. Like, dude, you're the parent here.
My God.
Like, you're acting like a child right now.
Oh, I
right?
hate
And that doesn't reflect, I hate that too. And like, if my kid saw me acting like that, and they would think, oh, if my dad doesn't, then I can do it. Like, that's not what you want your kid to do.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Anyway,
all right.
What's your first one?
My first one. All right. Qualities of the very best, most specialist parents. Here's the first thing that I came up with. And it's not, I don't think it's the best thing I have. It's just not number one on my list. Is that the best parents, they create lifelong memories and traditions for their children.
Dude, I think that's solid. Yeah, we all want that for our kids. So give us an example. Is there any that you're doing in your home that you're like, this is a tradition we
Trying,
have?
yeah. So here's a few
Trying,
thoughts. Like imagine you're a kid and your home life is, okay, average, maybe it's bad, but your parents did this, and they have like these traditions, these memories. So like every year you go camping for a week, and it's just like the best trip. You always look forward to it. Or every Christmas, you can always count on your mom like doing this one thing, and it's just so special. Or your whole family comes over, your aunts and your uncles, and you all meet up at this cabin, or you all do this one thing. It's like you have these traditions, or like every holiday, whether it's a religious holiday, it's like you can just know like, hey, this is what my family does. It brings us together. And so I have a few examples of that, but you kind of see how this could be like, it's like, it gives kids something to look forward to. And it's like when they get older, they'll look back and be like, yeah, that was special.
Yes, I like the idea of that. And like I would say family dinners, right? That's something that everybody remembers, and everyone can be like, okay, when the family gets together for the holiday, we eat dinner and we have a good time. The question I have in my head is like when I try to put together a family tradition, it's like, ugh,
I know.
Really, Dad? We're going to do this again?
Right.
We watched Home Alone 2 52 times.
Oh,
or,
right.
or you know what I'm saying? It's like
know.
you're trying to do I don't want to do this again.
I know, man. People are like, I got a great idea for a tradition. We're going to do it every year, and your kids get all salty.
Right.
Here's, I think I figured out, I was thinking deeply about this, and I was like, all right, how do I explain what I'm actually talking about? I think I came up with a good idea. All right. Do you have a friend? When you think of this friend, you think of them as kind of like the life of the party. Like if you do have a party, they're just really good at parties. They're funny.
Yeah.
They tell jokes. Do you have a friend like that? Or do you,
Totally.
can you describe that person for me real quick? Like what? Now this is not where I'm going, by the way. This is not like to be a great parent. You don't have to be the life of the party, but just hang with me. I have a good idea. What do you think of when you think of the life of a party?
The life of a party is like no matter if that person is having a party or is at your party, they're always down to have fun. If they notice someone at the party isn't having as much fun, they'll go sit next to them and like chat with them to make sure they're having a good time. If it's their own party, they'll make sure there's constant, drinks and beverages and food and everyone's having a good time, and whether it's TV. So it's just that person that can make you laugh.
Right.
It's that person that could, raise your spirits if everyone seems down for some reason, right?
Yeah.
It's just that person that's just like the life of the party. Everyone has that friend
so
and knows what that is.
Now this is not where I'm going because most people are not the life of the party, right? It's like a rare personality trait. It's like a gift to be the life of the party. So it's like, it's like, Sean, what are you talking about? I'm not the life of the party. That's not what I'm talking about with my first thing. Now think of a different person. They're not the life of the party, but you know what they're good at? They're good at organizing. And they're good at maybe organizing a party, or they're good at planning a ski trip, or they're good at setting up like a taco night or a barbecue night or a potluck night, or they're just good at hosting the Super Bowl parties, or they're good at like, hey, let's all meet up at the lake. Now, do you have someone like that you're thinking?
100%. Right. And I always think, I was like, man, if that person in the group wasn't around, would we get together?
Yes.
And I don't think we would.
Now,
right. So it's like,
that's what I'm thinking. So when you think of like, my number one is they're good at creating memories. It doesn't mean you are the life of the party. It means you're good at like bringing the people together. And when you have these families together, your family, it's like something really special happens because you're together.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking.
yeah.
All right.
That's good. You're right. That's a great parenting trait. So it doesn't have to be a tradition. It just has to be something we're getting together. Okay. My next one. Oh, yeah. Okay. Here it is. When parents take time to play with their children.
Yeah, dude.
How many parents do you know that just like, they don't play with their kids?
Dude, too many now.
They-
with all these phones
like,
too.
I remember like it'd be summertime. All the kids are at the pool, right? And all the parents are out having drinks, hanging out at the table, talking with each other, getting some adult time, which I get it, right? We all need adult time.
Yeah.
And then there's that one parent, in my case, it was my stepdad, Jeff, in the pool, throwing kids around, just playing nonstop.
So cool.
And he's like, what are all the dads doing out of the pool? Like, dude, all the kids are in here. Let's play,
Yeah.
So it's like, I like those parents that take time to play. There's no work that gets in the way. It's like, no, this is playtime.
It's so great. And as your kids get older, teenagers, what are you going to do with them? Well, keep playing. Maybe you can't wrestle with your teenage daughter in a pool. Maybe she's not down for that. But what you could do is you can figure out a way to rent a boat and take her and her friends out on the boat, or organize a camping trip for her, or a shopping trip where you buy our friends matchas. Like there's ways of maybe hosting pool parties or hosting movie nights, just playing, having fun with kids. That's such a great thing.
Which kind of goes into your number one of creating memories, right?
It is.
So I feel
It's
like playing is so important.
It is, man. I knew you and I were going to have some stuff around playing and, getting people together. All right. My number 2, I think is really, really, really important. Okay, so I think there's a lot of parents out there. I think a ton of parents. And their definition of good parenting is like, I go to work, I pay the bills, I sign my kids up for sports, I get them back to school, clothes, they have their screens. Like, what else am I supposed to do? Right?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
So my number 2 is that the best of the best parents, they see parenting as leadership and teaching life skills, not just food and shelter.
Yeah.
Like life skills. Like, hey, I'm going to show you.
Give me an example.
Like, oh my gosh. Like,
how to change a tire. Here's how I change my oil in my car. Here's how you vacuum. Here's how you clean your bedroom.
Here's how you shake someone's hand.
Skills.
How you look them in the eye.
Yes.
Here's how you sit
talk.
as a. Here's how as a young woman. Here's how you sit. As a young man, here's how you open doors. Here's how you address your teachers when you're feeling like treated unfairly. Here's how you address your grandparents. Here's why you're supposed to wear your pants in a certain way and not that way. Here's how you treat a waitress when maybe you don't like the food. Like they see it as like, I am not just here just to give my kids a good life and to pay the bills, but like I'm teaching them and about certain things. What do you think about that?
I think that goes almost exact as to what's on my list of number 3, which we'll just add it to this. And I like when parents have their kids work in their business.
Oh,
that was mine. So it's
work
basically like what you're saying.
Tell me about
like
that.
Teaching them. So like if I have my own business, I want to teach my kid how to do business. Right? Like I notice my uncle's in floor covering. Who wants to do floor covering? But his son has showed an interest. He's even begged his son, don't do this. I will pay you to go to college.
What?
But the son's like, no, I like working with my hands.
Yeah.
I want to learn from my dad. I want to learn how to do a trade.
Okay.
And I want to learn finance, right? So like when parents take that leadership and teach them something, I think goes hand in hand with what you're saying. In my case, I'm thinking more financial and business traits, but overall, same idea.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think two of the words that pop up to my mind right now is like the best of the best parents. They see parenting as mentorship or as in like internship. Like I'm preparing you for the real world, and I'm going to mentor you into this next level. Versus, hey, you're supposed to go off and go to college. You're supposed to study, do it. Versus, hey, I'm going to come alongside you and I'm going to walk this journey with you.
Yeah. And it's hard right now, especially when you think of like just blue collar jobs. You don't see any more, what is it, like an apprenticeship anymore with like sometimes you see the plumber, hey, I need you to help me. And I'm like, who's this other guy? Oh, this is my son. I'm teaching him the business. You're like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
I don't see that anymore, right? It's like the kids don't want to do that. But it doesn't have to be blue collar jobs, even if it's white collar jobs, even if it's like I'm a CEO, I want to teach my kid, come and learn from me how to do it. And I think that's really cool.
Well said, man. And it's well said. Like, I mean, I wish I had a parent like that growing up. Somebody that kind of like really spend the time to get to know me, get to know my passions, my dreams, my fears, and be patient with me to like walk me through, some of the things of life, some of the aspects of life, some of the aspects of career, college, success. I wish I had that. That sounds really, really nice. Dude, listening to you say that.
You're right. There's a lot of people that don't, because we all need mentors, right? So, if you don't have that, maybe finding that. I know there's this kid who's been reaching out to me, and he's persistent, right? And he's like, "Hey, can I tour the Weather Channel? Hey, can you be my mentor?" Asking me, "Hey, can
Wow.
you write me a letter of
for him.
recommendation? I'm gonna
Yeah.
apply for this." Like, he's like seeking, and it's making my job easier because I'm like, dude, heck yes. Like,
Yeah.
I'd love to do this, but sometimes it's hard for adults to seek out a kid to do that for because it's more work on us.
It
But
is.
kudos to all those parents that do that and all those
Kudos.
guides and mentors that do that. But like sometimes if you're a kid, just asking, and there's a lot of adults that would love
Yeah.
to help and show and,
Right.
and teach.
I don't know that kid or who you're talking about. I don't know how old he is. I don't know his parents, but I would be willing to bet that that person who's asking you, they've been mentored by their parent, and they've been
Yeah, you
encouraged,
might be
like,
right.
hey, reach
Yeah.
out to Jordan. Like, you got this. Like, this is how
Right.
you get successful. You put yourself out there with more successful older people. So it's
Yeah.
like, all right, I think
That's a good point.
of all of my top 5 list, I think I have the most to say about my number 3rd.
Okay.
And I think I'm very passionate about number 3 because I think it's really missing in our society and a lot of homes. And so here's what I came to think of this. What do the best parents do? Well, on my list so far, I've got they really are intentional about creating memories. Number 2, they see parenting as leadership and teaching life skills, not just food and
right.
shelter. But number 3 is that I think the best parents, they thrive in the role of being a moral guide. A moral
Okay.
guide. Let me,
Like what's right and what's wrong?
yeah. Like,
Okay.
let me tell you my thoughts and a little bit of a chat GBTing I did on this topic, all right?
Okay.
Okay. So I used to do a lot of public speaking. And one of the things I did was I would go in these freshman health classes and I would give these speeches to this class of like 32 freshman kids, right? And I had a little bit that I designed, and I would say, and I was asked the class this question. I said, okay, everyone, I want you to imagine a young child, age 5. And starting at age 4 or 5, this child is given unlimited screen time. And on these screens, these iPads, these Xboxes, these channels, these HBOs, they are exposed to everything. They never had any parent ever in their life protecting them from what they see on the screen or give them any type of wisdom. So the kid starting at age 5 and now at a young age, all through elementary school, they're being exposed to all types of crazy stuff online. Horrible racist memes, really immoral behavior. They're looking at some pornography. They're watching R-rated movies. They're watching people with hookup sex. They're watching people really minimize religion and spirituality. They're listening to rap songs, which are talking about hooking up and having sex on a club or in the bathroom. They're listening to music that doesn't talk about protection, or doesn't talking about the intricacies of love or lovemaking or marriage. I mean, they're listening to songs about marijuana and pot and Norco and Valium and Oxy, and they're listening to country music, talking about how amazing it is to drink alcohol on a regular basis. They are totally unfiltered. I could keep going, but you get the point.
Sure.
And
Get
say,
the point.
what would this person be like if they're 14 years old and they're sitting in this freshman health class? Describe them to me. What's their personality
Like
like?
the majority of my high school, peers.
That's not
You
what the
know,
kids would
like-
say. But that's what you're thinking. Why are you thinking that?
That's what I'm thinking.
Why are you thinking that? That's not what the kids
Because
would say.
that's just the average Joe. That's just what the average person is like. Go into a high school right now and try and find the opposite of that. I think it's going to be really hard.
Well,
I think that's a
kind of
very worldly person.
That's kind of It's kind of a doom and gloom outlook, Jordan. Like, you're thinking most freshman kids are like that?
I'd say a lot. Go to a Friday night football game. Tell me if it's different.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair. Here's what the kids would normally say. They would raise their hand and I would call them one by one. And they would
They
say,
say, "Oh, that's
things
not me."
No, they would say things like that kid's going to be like a loser. They're going to be addicted. They're like not going to have any friends. Like they're going to think the whole world revolves around them. They're going to say things like they're just going to be a bad person. they would say things like they might be very popular, or they might be totally a loner. They might be like be a drug addict. Those are like answers of 14-year-old kids. You with me? Does that surprise you?
Ninth graders.
Ninth graders, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And none of them were like, "Oh, that's me or my friends." Like that happened to me. None of them would ever say that, right?
They wouldn't.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Of course, no one's going to admit to it, but okay.
But then again, so here we are. What do the best parents do? Their moral guide. So I went on ChatGPT and I asked Chat, what is a moral guide? And I want to read you the definition. Now, some of you have like pastors in your life. You have priests in your life. You have rabbis in your life. So before I read the definition, can you see how it would make sense that the best parents are not just teaching life skills, and they're not just putting food on the table from Costco, but they're really speaking morality, integrity into their children. Does that make sense to you? Do you agree?
Yeah, that sounds like a beautiful parent. So we all strive to do.
What would a parent, let me put you on the spot. What would a 14-year-old be like if they were raised by a parent who is always teaching them about make sure you get good grades, make sure you, be on time for soccer, you're committed to your team, but they never really ever taught them anything about morals or about integrity or about love of mankind, altruism. What do you think that kid would be like?
I mean, I would argue that the kid would still be a really good kid and would learn good fundamental traits on how to be successful. But I think what you're saying is you're going deeper and helping them realize what life is about. What's the true meaning of having us here, right? Because we could just live and, yep, we're on time. We obey the laws. We say our manners. We are polite. We are not mean to people.
Right.
And you could be a fine individual and a good citizen as the world would see it, right? You pay your taxes.
Pay your taxes.
But what you're asking is like more of a spiritual, why am I here and what is my purpose while I'm here type of question.
Before I tell you what chat says, can I tell you about something that happened to me just last night, about 12 hours ago?
Sure.
So I went to this concert in downtown Sacramento from this rock band called Minus the Bear. And I went with my buddy Charlie, and it's a small club. There's probably like 1,000, 2,000 people there. And in the club, they have these lines on the ground. And where the lines are is that the lines create the aisleway. So if you want to watch the concert, because it's all standing room only, you can't stand within the lines. You have to stand outside the lines, right?
So people can walk up and down.
People can walk, so people can walk and keep it kind of safe. Right. So we're standing in the back of the studio, of the back of the concert, right next to the lines. And I'm watching the concert, and it kind of just started. The opening band had just started. And I see somebody spill their drink on the lines in the aisleway. And there was ice in it. So then I was like, oh, somebody spilled a drink. I go back to look in the concert.
Right.
10 seconds later, I hear a loud
Someone
thud.
slipped and fell.
Somebody slipped and fell on the back of his head. And it sounded very bad. I looked down. He was right in front of me. And he starts getting up, and he looks like he can't get up. And he moves his head, and you can see blood on the ground. This just happened to me.
Dang. He must have hit that hard.
So then for the next 45 minutes, Charlie and I stood there. And the paramedics came, and he was standing in the aisleway. I mean, he was laying down on the aisleway. And I got to see how human beings treated this young man. He was probably 21-year-old, like he looked like he's half white, half Latino, and he kept staring at the wall, and you couldn't really tell what was going on. We couldn't hear what him or the paramedics were saying because it was just so loud. But I got to see human behavior last night. I saw some of the best, and I saw some pretty shady human behavior. How do you think people acted at this concert around this young man? He's probably 21 years old. And he ended up getting taken out by a stretcher, and by the firemen. And I don't know why. it must have been kind of bad. So how do you think people acted to this kid? Like, imagine this scene. What do you think people did? Just to put you on the spot.
And these are 21-year-olds, young adults?
No, most of the people there were like probably 38 through 45, because that's like when Minus the Bear was the most popular, 20 years ago.
Okay. Because I was going to say age might have to do a lot with this question.
Mm-hmm.
Older you are, the more you care about life and the more you want to help those around you. The younger you are, it's like, I don't care. I'm here to see Minus the Bear, bro. I got front row seats. Like, that guy was going to be fine. Paramedics are right. I'm not going to care. I'm not going to help. Right? But it sounds like maybe there was a mix of both. Some people could could not care less. And other people were there to tend to his needs.
Yeah, I'm not trying to judge anybody.
That's like asking, when there's a car accident in front of you, do you pull over and help? If someone just got a flat tire, do you pull over and help, or do you keep driving?
So we didn't really know what to do, Charlie and I, because the place was so packed. And so we just kind of were sitting there, and we wanted to be support, but we couldn't because they had the security. But here's what I noticed, is that, Jordan, there were people at this concert who were walking over this young man. Like, they weren't walking around him. They walked over him. And it kept happening, so the security guards had to put their arms out to, like, say, give us some space. Don't come near this guy. This is a serious medical emergency. You know what I mean? And it kept happening, so then I started doing it too. I was like, no, man, back up, back up. So people would look at this guy on the ground being taken care of by a paramedic, and they would still, like, walk over him. It was so disrespectful, and I was pissed. It was disturbing. You know what I mean?
So going back to your tip of, like, having a parent teach you morals, you're saying that, like, it has to do with stuff like this. Helping those that have fallen. Being there for the friend who needs you.
Like, you have a child with Down syndrome. I'm just thinking. Let me just get some thoughts off that are on the head. Do you think that there's some really successful kids at UCLA right now, or Texas State, that just make fun of Down syndrome people? Do you think that kid exists?
Oh, for sure. Dude, I went to a comedian one time, well-known comedian. I won't throw his name out there because I used to like him, not anymore, because he had this whole joke about, like, Down syndrome. And it was, like, totally not cool. And I was like, gosh, cool. This is where your material took you. So yeah, I know that there's people like that.
Do you think that there's really good, successful kids who have really good grades and they do their chores, but that, when somebody famous gets murdered, let's just say, bring up Charlie Kirk's name, that they were, like, going on social media and just celebrating that and just celebrating murder? Like, do you think? Yeah. You see where I'm going? I know it's a super touchy subject. Do you think that there's really good people out there that on the surface they look good, but on the inside they just don't care about anybody but themselves? They don't even care. They don't care about anybody. Yeah. They just want to make money. They want to be successful. They're like, screw that guy. I don't know him. Right. So here's what chat said, because I asked chat, it, how would you define and describe a moral guide? And this is what chat wrote. A moral guide is more than a person who teaches right and wrong. It's someone who leads others towards wisdom, integrity, and compassion through the consistent example of their life. Pretty good. A moral guide is a person who helps others navigate life choices with conscience, clarity, and courage, pointing them towards what is good, true, loving, even when it's hard. A moral guide doesn't just hand out rules. They shape values. They live in such a way that others can feel their integrity, their kindness, honesty, humility, make people want to grow. They see right and wrong not as rigid laws, but as a path toward character, peace, and love. And they lead through example, wisdom, accountability, and compassion. A moral guide helps others build an inner compass so they can make wise, ethical decisions even when no one is watching. And then I would add this. A moral guide raises kids who then become moral guides themselves.
Right.
So I don't know. I told you I had a lot to say on that topic, but I don't know. I think that's really...
It's deep. It's like I'll be hiking on the trail with my kids, and I will see a can on the trail that someone
Yeah.
just left.
Yeah.
Do I make it a point to pick it up, put it in my pack, hike it back down, put it in the trash? Or do I just leave it?
Right.
Say, you know what? I didn't do it. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. So it's like, I think, in my opinion, to wrap it up, the best of the best parents, they're not just keeping their kids safe. They're not just having their kids get A's and B's. They're not just having their kids signed up for this and that activity. They're teaching them about this word. It's altruism, morals, values, spirituality. So, all right, that's my number 3. Let's go with your number 4. Thanks for letting me share that.
I love it. Mine, let's see. I like when parents can be flexible. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So any parent who can readjust very easily.
So
Something's
good.
not working, try something new.
That is a great
right?
trait.
So it is because if you can't adapt, if you can't, I always say you got to be like a chameleon, right? You got to blend in with
yeah.
other stuff. You got to constantly be changing the way you're parenting, the way you're doing things. Like if something's not working, be open with changing it. Don't just do the same thing because you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the way my parents did it. This is the way I have to do it.
Yeah.
So we have to constantly change our plans
Right.
depending on what happens with our kids.
Right.
Sometimes within our kids and within our parenting, we change our parenting style per kid depending on what that kid needs at that time. And it can be hard. It can be very difficult. It can ruin an entire family vacation if you let it
Yes.
ruin a family vacation. It doesn't have to, but you have to be able to adjust.
Gosh.
And I think that's very important.
And that is not easy for some of us. Some of us, we feel comfort and safety in our rigidity and our structures and our ways. And we don't want to be flexible to
Right.
our kids. We want them to change.
Right.
This is a really,
Right.
man,
That's
that is good. They are
Yeah, that's
flexible.
good. I like it.
They're chill. They're flexible. Rubber band. Oh my gosh, that is good.
It helps. It helps. And sometimes you have to be flexible with one kid more than another. And so you just have to be okay with it. You can even say, this is our tough kid. We just got to do this. So it helps them out.
Hey, for my number 4, can I ask you some personal questions about where you were when you were 20 years old?
Physically,
No.
mentally,
Hear me out.
spiritually?
I already know you're going to
Yeah.
say yes.
'Kay.
Okay, so when I was 20 years old, I was floundering, man. I went to 6 colleges in my 20s, and when I was 20, I was probably on my 3rd. And
just kept flunking out of those colleges.
no, man, I was at this college, and I was like, I gotta go. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go to this college, a junior
Yeah.
college. I was just trying to figure out, and
Right.
And then some really hard things happened to me. Like one of the things that happened to me was that I had no money, and my parents weren't supporting me financially at all. They couldn't, because my dad, he didn't send me any money. He couldn't. He didn't want to. He wasn't really in my life at all. My mother was going through a hard divorce from her second husband. And so if something really bad happened to me, I don't know what I would have done. I mean, bad stuff happened to me, but I just had to survive, man. I just had to take student loans. I had to work a job.
Yeah.
I had to drive around my 1986 Honda Accord, and I had to talk to my friends. I mean, I didn't really feel like I had a safety net. Now, my personal question for you is: something really, really bad happened to you when you were 20, which I don't think it did. Where your parents had been there for you, like as a safety net, would you feel like you could just, fly home or drive home, and they would like house you, they would feed you, they would take care of you, they would like comfort you? Did you have anybody?
Yeah.
Did you have that with
Yeah.
one or both of your parents?
I would say either one would have stepped up to the plate if they needed, They had the ability to do so, and even if they didn't, they would make room to do so, At that stage, I was getting ready to graduate college, trying to figure out what I was going to do for work. So I kind of had an overall timeline of what I was going to do. But if let's just say I flunked out, I went so far into debt, I had to file bankruptcy. There was nothing I could do. I could have at least probably moved back in, been that guy to live in my parents' basement, and played video games for a little while longer.
Now, would you have wanted to do that though? Would you have felt loved and safe doing that? Or would you have preferred to maybe just go to a friend's house and do that? Like, who would you have chosen? Going to one of your parents or going to a friend's?
I don't know. I have no idea. That's hard to say, going back into that time, into my mind space, my head space, and figure out what I want to do. I know I was a go-getter, so no matter what I did, I wouldn't let it last. I would have wanted to move on to the next thing and try something else. I would definitely want to keep moving forward.
I think a lot of parents, if something really bad happened to you when you were 20 and you were living out, I think a lot of parents would be like, yeah, you can come home. But
Yeah.
I don't know if how many 20-year-olds would choose to go home versus going someplace else, because
Right.
home isn't really that nice. I'd rather not. I'd rather go to my friends. You know what I mean?
I do. I mean, but you can look at right now. Isn't the stat right now like more kids that are like 26 years old live at home than they do on their own? Like something ridiculous.
Here's where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Okay. You've heard me talk a lot about this on this podcast. I do a lot of work around this in my VIP membership to help parents thrive. Is this? You've heard me say this term before, Jordan. I call it their person. Their person.
Their safety net, their security blanket.
When you think of like, we want to be our child's person. We want them to look at us and be like, gosh, that's my guy. That's my person. What comes to mind for you? Like, what kind of emotions or thoughts, imagery comes up?
Maybe a significant other, an older brother, a childhood mentor, a best friend. Yeah. Like I don't have anything specific personally, but I could see that as being my person.
Do you want?
But honestly, I don't know how many people have a person like that in their life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that takes vulnerability.
Do you think that the best of the best parents, because that's what this podcast is about, do you think that the best of the best parents out there, they're like, when their children look at them, whether they're 5, 15, or 25, or 35, that the child says, yeah, that's my person. Like, they're always there. They'll always be there for me. The whole world might crumble, but I know that my parent is there for me.
I don't know. That's deep. I don't know if a lot of people would have thought about this. I never have, but that's a great question to ask yourself.
Here's my number 4 is that when your child, what do the best parents do? They parent in a way so that when their teenager looks at them, they're like, that's my person. Like, they'll be there for me when life hits me hard. Here's a couple words that I came up with, like, to describe this. Like a go-to, or they're like the faithful one, a person who stays when others scatter. They don't need explanations or proof. They just show up. They're steady. They don't always fix everything, but they're present. Or how about this? The anchor. Have you ever been in have you ever had a boat problem when you were in a boat and you had a major crisis and you were on the water? Have you?
Yeah, 100%. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Was it?
My boat almost blew up. I had my family on the boat.
Was it scary? Like,
yeah, dude, it almost caught fire.
Oh my gosh.
There was so much smoke flowing out. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is bad. I was like, guys, get ready to jump in the water.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, being a boat captain takes a lot of responsibility. So did it all work out? What happened?
Oh, yeah, it worked out. But so my impeller wasn't bringing water in to cool the engine.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm out there flooring the engine and it's getting so hot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting ready to explode. And I see all this smoke coming out and I turn it off and I open it up. It's cracking. I'm like, this is so dangerous.
So you got home safely though?
Yeah, it calmed down and I paddled us to safety.
Have I told you the story about how I was out on my boat in the ocean and I had to get rescued by the Coast Guard?
No, of course you got rescued by the Coast Guard. Please tell me this story.
So embarrassing.
This is ridiculous.
It's a true story. I had to get a Coast Guard rescue. So long story short, I'm out on my fishing boat in Bodega Bay, and we're not far off. We're only like 300 yards off the coast. And I'd just been working on my boat because it had been breaking down a lot. So I said to my buddy, all right, Brandon, we're going to stay close to the shore because this boat's pretty old and sketchy, and I got to be safe. Long story short, the engine died, and my kicker motor, I didn't bring it because which kicker motor is known as a backup motor. Because we had just worked on the engine.
Or a trolling motor or something.
Trolling motor wouldn't have worked. Trolling motor wouldn't have worked. This is the ocean, dude. This is Bodega Bay.
You're in the bay. It's okay,
So,
keep going.
And so the engine dies.
So grab the radio. Coast Guard. This is Sean Donohue, and I am stuck.
So
Please help me.
Here's what happens.
SOS.
The water is very strong, and it's pushing us towards the shore.
Oh, good.
Not good. No,
Oh.
not good. You want my boat to be thrown up against the rocks and for us to die out there?
I didn't know there was rocks.
Yes.
No, I would just push up the shore and you just get off the boat.
What do
Okay,
we do?
all right.
So I get on the phone and I'm talking to my father-in-law because he's my boat mechanic, and we're trying to get the boat working again, and it's not working. And so I try to throw the anchor off the boat because the boat is moving. We're sliding towards the rocks. Now, when I say, going to the rocks, they are not close at all. They're still a half mile away. But we're moving pretty fast. And I got bad news. The anchor is not catching. It's not working.
Right, it's too deep.
It's not working.
Yeah.
And I'm like, crap. So then, unfortunately, I called the Coast Guard, and they told me some bad news. They said, well, you have to call 911. I was like, no,
that is
please,
so
no,
embarrassing.
it's so embarrassing. So I called 911, and this huge Coast Guard vessel comes out. Huge. It's like 70 feet long with 4 totally muscular, jacked 25-year-old Coast Guard guys. And they give us a tow back in. And I remember asking them, you'll get a kick out of this. I asked them these 2 questions. Question 1, how much is this going to cost me?
Yeah, I was wondering, did they charge you?
No, man. It was free. It was free. Tax dollars at work. The second question is hey, man. Hey, guys. I'm feeling pretty embarrassed about this. Am I a total idiot for coming out in a fishing boat into Bodega Bay with no kicker motor? And I was really happy with what they said. They said, no, man, it's okay. It happens. We do a lot of these rescues. You're right here next to the shore. You're being safe. You have all your gear. It's okay. It happens. Don't feel bad about it. That helped me feel better.
That's great. Do you guys have Sea-Tow in California? That's a nationwide company,
I think
right?
so. I think
Where you
so.
pay, it's like AAA, but it's on the water and
Yeah.
then come tow you.
Do you have Sea-Tow?
All right. Yeah, it's definitely something that they're like, hey, if you're gonna go in the ocean, you get that.
Get the
like
Sea-Tow.
that's like
yeah,
a,
you got to get
right.
Sea-Tow. Yeah, we were pretty.
But dude, I was on my boat this last summer and I was running out of gas. I was like, dang, I burned more gas than I thought, and there was no marina nearby, and I just kept it within the shore because my goal was to, if the boat died, jump off it and pull it to the shore, swim it to the shore, like try.
Are you in the ocean or a gulf?
It's like the intercoastal.
Okay.
It's the intercoastal. So anyway, I made it. But yeah, dude, there's always boat stories. This is great. So keep going. Where are you taking this?
Here's where I'm
with
taking this. This is a parenting podcast. Because
Don't be Sean Donohue. Don't be.
this is about being your child's person.
Yeah.
You know what I really would have loved that day as an anchor? That really worked. Actually, what an anchor does is it puts and it gives boats stability. It would have made my boat stay in one spot. The storm was there. The waves I could not control. But what an anchor does is it gives a boat like a safe place to be calm in the storm. So here's when I think about parenting. Your kids are going to go through a lot of really hard stuff. Childhood is hard. The teen years are hard. Being in your 20s is hard nowadays. So what do the best parents do? Well, they are the anchors. They're like, I'm here when life's crazy. I'm here when you make mistakes. And I'm going to be the stable one, and this home is going to be the stable one when your life's unstable. And you can count on that. That's what I'm thinking.
I love that. That's really great.
All right.
Super solid.
We're down to our
For my
last
fifth
ones.
last one. I've got this family friend. We look up to him a lot. And their kids, one's into drumming, Another one just got into like acting. Like she just booked her first role in a short. She's getting paid. And I watched what the parents do with their kids, and like the mom is like helping with demo reels and auditions, and here's the agent you really need to get. Don't go with this one, go with this one. And the dad's like, okay, if you're a drummer, we're going to start off with this. Then you're going to go with this. We're going to take you here. We're going to see the best bands who have the best drummer. We're going to teach you this.
Yeah.
And so for my fifth one is for the parenting trait that I like is parents who meet these kids where they're at.
Wow, that is
right? So it's
special.
like,
yeah.
if these kids are into something that I'm not, I jump into it with them and help them, guide them, right? Because I already know, I can tell you, these parents, one could not care less about acting. Like, do I want, but my kid likes it, so I'm going to help my
really
kid be the
good.
best of the best.
Wow.
If my kids want to do a lemonade stand, right? Ugh, I don't want to have to go through this. But you know what? No, that's what they're into. I'm going to go full force, and we're going to do this together. So just finding out what they're passionate about, because sometimes it's not what we're passionate about, and learning to thrive in that.
Such a great
as
number
parents.
5. You know what it makes me think of? One of my little sayings, I say it a lot, is parent the child you have, not the child you want. And sometimes when we hear that, you might hear like a negative connotation, or you might hear like how, like this is about really doing the hard work of adapting to your challenging child. But that actually would apply in a positive sense too, relating to what you just said. Parent the child you have means doing what you just described. Be like, go into the world and just enjoy it, celebrate it, build it, support that world, and parent that child that you have, and just live it up.
Right. Don't ignore it. Don't be, well, that's their thing. I don't understand why. I don't know what they like that for, but kids are gonna do what kids are gonna do, which can be hard for us parents, because like all these kids are into tech and YouTube and all this stuff that we're like, what is the big deal about this stuff? But I think it's a challenge for us to learn what that next generation is into.
Just enjoying our kids for who they are and where they're at in life, and just making the most of it. That's good parenting.
Yeah.
I love that
start
one,
talking
dude.
like skibbity 6 7. That's fire.
No.
Like start talking to like that.
No. Oh my gosh. All right. If you've been listening to this podcast for a long time or a short time, thank you. Thank you so much. We are in I think we're over around 150 countries. We're normally ranked on the top of the charts. So honored to have you as a listener. So I don't think you should be surprised by number 5. What do the best of the best parents do? What I wrote down is that they lead themselves first. They lead themselves first. They become the EQ parent. They become the anchor. They take care of themselves to show up to be the loving, normal person. They're the adult in the relationship. That kind of makes sense, right? I mean, you can make great memories. You can try to teach your kids this or that or be their moral guide. But if you're kind of like a weirdo and you can't figure out life and you go so up and down, or you're yelling all the time, or you're a workaholic, or you're an alcoholic, or you're a weirdaholic, you're just like not relatable. Like, how are you going to get through to your kids and make the impact and be the parent you want to be, right? Am I being mean there, or am I kind of making sense?
No, you're basically trying to say, like, have your own self-identity that is confident. Be that person that you kids can look up to and be like, yeah, I know who my dad is. Like, if we don't know who we are, our kids aren't going to know who we are. So it's like we just have to show up with confidence. And, like, if we have a hobby, great. Own it. If you like to read, great. Own it. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be you.
You know, here's a good story of, I think, helps understand it. Have you ever heard of the term PK before? PK.
No. Preschool.
So, preschool.
That's
That's
pre-K.
the number
That's
one.
pre-K.
Preschool, pre-K. That's got to be the number one most popular use of those 2 letters.
Yeah.
But the number 2 is that there's a term that's called a PK, which means a pastor's kid. I think being a pastor's kid.
Oh, yes, I have heard that. I'm a PK. I'm like, what is that? Okay.
I think being a pastor's kid would be really, really, really hard and confusing.
Yeah, that's got to be.
Really?
Because then again, it's your kids having to live up to your parents' identity, and it might not be their identity.
Right. It's so much pressure. like I got to go to church. People are looking at me. I got to act a certain way. And then pressure for the
Right.
parents too. Like, this is my kid. You better go to church. You can't dress that way. You can't act this way. That's
Right.
embarrassing for me. So when you think about like leading themselves first, yes, I am talking about like your hobbies and your, your passions and your joys. But really what I'm talking about is like, is imagine that you're a pastor or you're working at church. And on the outside, you say all the right things. You have a nice public persona. But you go home and you're just kind of weird. And you're not nice. And you're losing it. And you're annoying. Do you think that kid is going to want to become like them? Are they going to want to follow in their faith? Are they going to want to become a pastor? Do you see where I'm going with this at all?
Yeah. Yeah, I could see a lot of people. Like, you put on a show when you're in the public, but at home, you're not like that at all.
Right. It's like leading yourself first means like, your kids are watching you. And so taking care of yourself and just being the most loving, stable person you can be. Because if you're trying to do all this great stuff that we talked about here today, because let's do a little recap. Like, and if you're acting out and you're acting like a weirdo, a really unhealthy person in the house, the ability for you to impact your children is going to go way down. And you might even turn them away from the things that you're into. Like, if I was raised by a pastor and I was a PK and my mom or my dad were not nice people, I didn't enjoy being around them. I thought they were weird, or maybe they were like super religious in a bad way, or they were just like alcoholics behind the closed doors, or they were just weird. I would be like, I don't want to be like you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know exactly what you mean. And a lot of kids and parents are probably, oh yeah, that was my dad or that was my mom. I totally went the opposite direction of what they did.
Right?
Yeah, totally. That's good.
So how about we do a recap? Why don't you do yours? We'll do a quick fire. You go your 5, and then I'll go my 5. I'll
So
cue us
my
up.
5.
Here, I'll cue us up.
Okay,
All right.
okay.
All right, here are 10. We looked at some of the best traits from the best parents. Here are 10 traits that you and I should aspire to be like. Jordan, go for it.
All right, so my first one is when parents talk like adults to their children. Don't talk like kids. Don't want to be their best friends, but be that mentor. Be that parent to them. Number 2 is when parents take time to play with their children. Be present, like actually go and have fun. Turn off work, get off the emails, like just play. However you want to play, play. Number 3, when parents have their kids work in their business, teaching them a talent, a trait, something to learn to do financially, right? Number 4, I like when parents are flexible, right? You can readjust really easily. Sometimes you have to readjust parenting for a specific kid because that kid needs a different parent than your other kid does. So being flexible.
Really good.
And then, that was number 4. Number 5 is parents who meet kids where they're at, even if they're not into what their kids are into, us jumping in and being into it with them so that we can share life with them.
So good. So good. My number 1 is the best parents are not the life of the party, but they are good at organizing and creating traditions and memories for their kids. Number 2 is the best parents see parenting as leadership. You're teaching lifelong leadership skills and life skills, not just putting food and shelter on the table. Number 3, the best parents are moral guides. Right. They see their children as more than just people who need to act a certain way, but you're instilling morals and character, spirituality inside their children. You are teaching them and guiding them. Number 4, the best parents are a safety net. They are an anchor. They are their persons. They are their child's person. I am here and I am the stable person when the world gets crazy for you. And number 5 is the best parents, well, they lead themselves first. Childhood is hard enough. The best parents, they have figured out their own mental health, their own ups and downs. They figured out how to be a generally normal, loving, cool, regular adult for their kids.
That's good. Dude, those are great.
Those are great.
So true.
That was
those
really
great traits.
Really fun, lighthearted episode. So easy talking about these positive things. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed today. I hope you are really putting these 10 traits into your practice. Let's all do it together. We're all learning as we go. Thanks for joining us today.